Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's very late 10 to 14 day video update. So we're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days. For this video, day 10 will take us to the 3rd of October, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and ECM ensembles. They are running to around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, gets us into the second half of October, and I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just say that the first video says it was our 6 AM UK weather forecast, so like, share, subscribe on all today's videos and content. Because I'm doing this video very late, I can be able to have a look at 12Z, actually, or most of 12Z, minus the ECM at the end of the video, so hang around for that, and that will be coming up at the end. I was doing the early morning shift at Watford Gap this morning. I normally do, like, late, afternoons and evenings, but I was doing mornings to lunch times this morning, so I was up at 5 o'clock this morning, ungodly hour. So when I got home, I needed to sleep. That's why I'm recording a video very late. But for anybody who might be concerned, and I'm absolutely fine, just need to sleep. When I got home, after being up at 5 AM. Right, okay, well, we're going to start off in the tropical, subtropical Atlantic. 3 interest areas. We've got an orange extras here, which is disturbance 2, 60% chance of cyclone formation with that in the next 7 days. We've got disturbance 1 with a 90% chance of cyclone formation in the next 7 days. Looks like that one will definitely become, or almost certainly become, a tropical storm and or hurricane. And then we've got category 4 hurricane Gabrielle, just here, giving maximum sustained winds of 130 miles per hour with a minimum set pressure of 952 952 millibars. And Gabrielle is moving northeastwards at 20 miles per hour. Clicking on Gabrielle and going here, we can see that it's going to stay as a major hurricane for a bit longer. Its current position is just there. Going to start moving more or less due eastwards as we go through the next few days. We'll be weakening down to hurricane status, and there'll be a post-tropical storm off the coast of Spain and Portugal when we get through into the weekend. Possibly bring a bit of a soaking for some parts of Iberia. Well, the latest wind from Earth, nullschool.net shows that high pressure is still in control of the weather, bringing a lot of dry and fine conditions at the moment. Dragging the map around. Where are we going? Let's have a look. Yeah, dragging the map around and zooming in, we can see that tropical storm. Hurricane, I should say, major hurricane, category 4 hurricane Gabrielle, formerly tropical storm Gabrielle, looking a very, very, very intense feature. Strongest winds, as usual, on the southern side of the storm, and if we zoom right in, we can have a good look at the eye of that storm, looking very dramatic indeed. So right in the centre of Gabrielle, no winds at all, but then of course those winds very rapidly come back on the other side of the storm. Really dramatic developments in the Atlantic with Gabrielle, and there's more to come potentially with those other disturbance areas. Central England temperature is down to 15 degrees, a nice round 15.0, that's 1.4 degree. But 61 to 99 average, provisional to the 22nd of September. That should go sub 15 when it updates tomorrow. Should be in the 14s tomorrow. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. The next couple of weeks, on at London today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. Starting off below average of the upper air temperatures at the moment and continuing below average through to month end and into the start of October. Through the first week of October, the upper air temperatures start to lift up and go a little bit above average then. So a warming trend into October, which is slightly unusual, of course, because, this is a cooling time of the year. But it's not a linear process, so like the last week of September might be cool, first week of October might be warm, and then the second week of October might be even cooler, speculative, but it's up and down like that as we descend from summer to winter through the season that is autumn. Precipitation-wise, going to be a lot of dry weather to come for all the rest of this week and into the weekend. Next week looking a little bit more showery though. Temperature anomalies, next 5 days to the 28th of September, coming out below average. The 6 to 10 day temperature anomaly is average to, well, some east areas slightly above. And the 10 to 14 day, again, it's a little bit above average. Precipitation anomalies for the next 7 days to the 30th of September, most areas drier than normal. 8 to 14 day, also looking pretty dry as well. Right, let's start going through chart data. Remember, latest UK Met Euro run looking for midnight on Friday. High pressure over Scandinavia. Low pressure could be threatening some shower zone into the south from France. Now, move through into the weekend. Trough moves eastwards, bring some showery rain potentially across the country. About into next week, high pressure reforming, or trying to anyway, and bringing drier conditions into the second half of next week. These will all be midnight model runs, by the way. And then Icon looks like that. Again, trough coming across the country through the weekend, bringing some showery rain with it into next week. High pressure building to the south and to the east, but to the north and the west, it's turning a little bit more unsettled again with both west-southwesterly winds. So we've got the KMA looking like that. So once again, quite a bit of high pressure around from the end of week, and into the weekend we keep quite a bit of high pressure as well. Low pressure gets diverted down in towards France, Spain and Biscay. Next week, north-south split, high pressure in the south, a lot of dry weather there, and that building northwards looking really quite warm actually as we go through the first week of October there, with winds shifting into a southerly direction. That could be a late burst of summer, possibly Indian summer, with a wind coming up from southerly direction. By the end of that KMA run, 5th of October, low pressure event is beginning to start heading in from off the Atlantic. And the GFS midnight run looks like this. So high pressure weakening over weekend, allowing some showery conditions into next week. High pressure dominating to the south. Low pressure is away to the north. That high pressure being a lot of dry and quite warm conditions into the south. Beyond that, into extended range, well again, high pressure is influential, bringing plenty of dry and fine weather from the first week into the second week of October. Meanwhile, the GFS 6Z, again, looking a little bit showery through the weekend and into the start of next week. By the middle of next week, high pressure ridging to the south, low pressure is away to the northwest. However, by day 10, looking rather wet and windy there, with the GFS 6Z and that particular area of low. Beyond that, well, we keep those westerlies coming with further rain bands, particularly for the north. Not that much getting into the south, but rather wet, windy by the 9th of October on the GFS 6Z with that low. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Drop a comment, let's know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get to subscribe too. So everyone for doing that. About 60 subscribers will get us to 20.6k. So you could get us up. That'd be awesome. Thank you so much. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much. Love it. Hey, GM! Again with high pressure in control. And in the ascendancy on Friday, but a showery trough pushing eastwards over the weekend. Before we go back to higher pressure through the early part of next week, bringing a lot of dry, fine and warm weather, particularly to the south, but even in the north there should be a lot of dry weather to be enjoyed next week with the gem, and temperature probably moving above average. And then the ECM rounding it all off again, high pressure in control for Friday, turning a little bit showery over the weekend, but high pressure is maintained really and keeps its influence into the beginning of next week. And that high pressure just sticks around. So next week looking mostly dry and warmer as well, with winds starting to shift to more of a southerly or a southeasterly direction. Beyond daytime, high pressure just begins to weaken a little bit. Trough of low starts heading in from off the Atlantic. That could bring some showery and rather mixed conditions in with it. That's the scenario by the 8th of October. Low pressure at Scandinavia, low pressure in the middle of the Atlantic. We're on a slight little transient ridge there, drier and a little bit cooler maybe. This is a precipitation forecast based on the ECM run up to day 10 from tibetio.com. So again, it's going to be a lot of dry weather to come over the next few days, but into the weekend, a showering band into the north and west. That kind of fizzles out and dies a death as it comes across the country in the weekend. But next week, again, lots of dry and fine weather to come and to be enjoyed. These are the options on the table within the ECM on top of day 4, day 10. The Icelandic Metals gets to the 3rd of October. 19 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure dominating the weather at day 10, mostly dry and warm. That includes the operational run. We have got, let's get rid of that, 13 with a nice ridge through the north and the west of Europe. That should bring a lot of dry weather with it. We've got 11, just a bit of lower pressure in the Atlantic, started to put that anticyclone under a bit of pressure, and then we've got 8 with high pressure again sitting over the top of the country. All options really look anticyclonic at day 10, so should be a lot of dry weather to be enjoying. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It gets to the 8th of October. 14 members of the ECM ensembles again with high pressure over the country. We've got 12 with a ridge through the north and the west of Europe. We've got 11 just a bit weaker with the anticyclone, so that could be slightly more showering. We've got 7 with high pressure over and to the north of the country, bringing a lot of dry weather with it. And we've got a further 7 with just a little bit of lower pressure coming in from off the Atlantic. Again, that could be a little bit on the showery side. So all options look anticyclonic at day 10. 2 weeks out, to be honest, most of them are still doing so, I think. It's a little bit more uncertain, of course, at 2 weeks out, as you'd expect, given it is 2 weeks away. But, I mean, most of those options look like they're involving high pressure to me. So we could be in for quite a prolonged spell of high pressure when we get into October, but that is speculative. CFS V2, these are 500 millibar high times, broken down into week periods. The first week period takes from 23rd to 29th of September. Next week with high pressure over Scandinavia, low pressure out in the Atlantic. So bit of a battle going on, but that high pressure is going to be the dominating factor, I think, for the week ahead. Week 2 looks like that. It's the 30th of September, 6th of October. Again, high pressure to the north and also to the northeast, so lower pressure down to the south. Week 3 is going to be the 7th to the 13th of October. Low pressure taking over through the north and the west of Europe, so becoming a lot cooler and a lot more unsettled there. And then week 4 rounds it all off. It's the 14th to the 20th of October with low pressure just to the south and to the southwest. So again, that looks quite unsettled as we go further on into October. So we may start October under high pressure, but it looks as though that anticyclone will be breaking down later on in the month. Let's have a quick look at 12Z before we go, as well. I'm doing the video very late. So starting off with UK, mate, your high pressure to our east, low pressure to the south and to the west on Friday. And then we head on into the weekend, or through the weekend, high pressure sort of strengthening, really, killing off any weather system trying to push eastwards. So that's a setup by next Tuesday. Anticyclonic and mostly dry then. Right, that's how done. Icon again with high pressure over and to the east of the country, just weakening the ridge a little bit over the weekend, might allow some shower conditions, but my ridge strengthens into next week and brings lots of dry and increasingly warm weather with it. But GFS looks like that again. High pressure is away to our east as we go through the end of week. A little bit weaker with the ridge through the weekend, could allow some showery conditions. And then next week, well, it turns more unsettled up in the north, but the south should be mostly dry there. We do eventually start going into a wet and windy pattern though, around and just after day 10, courtesy of that particular area of low pressure. And then high pressure though, that's only temporary, high pressure back in control as we move in towards the second week of the month. So again, a lot of dry and warm weather to be enjoyed there with the GFS 12Z. And finally, GM, it looks like that. Once more, high pressure, a lot of dry and warm weather. The end of the week into weekend, but it looks a little bit showering with that trough. But trough moves away into next week and the ridge reforms once again. Lots of dry, warm weather to the south. And that's set for day 10 with the GM high pressure bringing a lot of dry and fine weather. So plenty of high pressure to come. Lots of dry and warm conditions into the first week of October. How long that lasts remains to be seen, but it looks like October will be starting off on a mostly dry and warm note. Right, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. And show to everyone for doing that. Drop a comment and say what you think about this and all my videos and content. Don't forget to press about GavsWeatherVids and get them to subscribe too. Show to everyone for doing that. Tomorrow, I've got 6 AM UK weather forecast, and there will, of course, be 10 to 14 today as well. Channel member live stream at 8 PM. If you're a channel member, then check in to your 2nd September channel member live stream, and I shall see you then. For this one, though, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to get 6 AM forecast done, then get to bed because I'm back up at 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So I'm not really a morning person, you know. I'm not an early riser by nature. Oh, it's not that easy for me, but it's all good. So ka-ching, ka-ching. Anyway, not interested, mate. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening. And that's all for now. And thanks for watching.